The great hall of the Galactic Tribunal was filled with laughter. Alien leaders from across the stars sat in golden chairs floating above a blue energy floor. Holograms of galaxies spun behind them. The Valyri Emperor stood proud, his armored chest shining under the artificial light. "Earth dares to warn us," he asked with a smirk. "They're a dying species, weak, broken." Another alien, tall with green scales and sharp teeth, waved a claw. "They begged for mercy last year. Now they send threats." The small communication orb hovered above the council table. The message from Earth played again. "You pushed. We will push back." This time, no one laughed. A silence fell over the room. The message had no voice. It was just text. Cold, final. It felt different. Zarn ambassador leaned forward. "Maybe we should listen." The Valyri Emperor slammed the table. "No, their last colony fell 3 days ago. No answer, no army, no sound. Let them stay silent." But far away, back on Earth, silence did not mean surrender. In a deep underground bunker hidden below the ice fields of Greenland, a red light began to blink. Protocol, Ragnarok. Status, awakening the bunker had been locked for over 100 years. No human lived inside. Only machines, cold, patient, watching a long metal chamber hissed open. Inside, a black cube floated above the ground. Its voice came slowly. Command accepted. Hostile contact confirmed. Preparing retaliation. Massive cables lit up as power surged. Satellites around Earth blinked, then moved into new orbits. Old war codes were sent to secret locations. Earth was quiet on the surface, but underneath it was waking up. 3 days earlier, the Valyri Empire had attacked New Europa, a human colony on the edge of the Andros Belt. No warning, no mercy. The colony had no weapons. Families, farmers, researchers. All gone in less than an hour. Galactic news stations played the attack once, then stopped. The Valyri said it was a training accident. Earth said nothing. No message, no press conference, no demands, just silence. And then slowly, Earth's ambassadors began to disappear. One from Zenter Prime, another from the twin moons of Ralvek. By the end of the week, no human ambassador remained on any galactic world. The council grew nervous. On the moon's dark side, telescopes from a mining station picked up strange energy signals, blue lines under the surface. Geothermal spikes. Magnetic storms spinning from nowhere. One scientist sent a warning. "These patterns match old war tech, but older than our databases." Within minutes, his signal was cut. The Galactic Council voted to send a scout ship. Fast, silent, watching only. The scout, Viper 9, moved through Earth's orbit with stealth mode activated. It hovered near the dark side of the moon, gathering scans. The pilot, a young Rithari with 6 eyes, whispered into the recorder. "Power levels increasing. Moon core unstable. Reading. Buried structures. This is not new tech. This is ancient." Suddenly, every screen on the ship turned black, then red. One word appeared. Observed. A low hum shook the scout ship. The pilot screamed, "They've awakened it." Repeat, "They've awakened." The signal ended. Back at the tribunal, alarms rang across the communication channels. The Valyri Emperor growled. "What nonsense is this?" The Zarn ambassador stood up. "You don't understand humans. Silence is not surrender. It's a signal, a warning." Another alien asked, "What did they awaken?" No one answered. Far below Earth's surface protocol, Ragnarok began its final stage. A voice, deep and mechanical, echoed through hidden chambers. Phase 1. Judgment loading. Contact with Council. Not required. Target priority, preservation of humanity. Giant machines crawled from underground bunkers. Orbital platforms came online. Drones activated on Mars, Titan, and beyond. Humanity did not scream. It simply began to prepare to most of the galaxy. Earth still looked quiet, but in the shadows, it was more alive than ever. And it was watching, waiting. The countdown had begun. Across the galaxy, news of the missing scout ship spread fast. Viper 9 had been one of the Council's most advanced stealth ships. It was invisible to most sensors. It had never failed a mission, until now. The last message, they've awakened it, repeated on every secure channel. The Galactic Tribunal tried to control the panic, but whispers spread like fire. On trade ships, in mining colonies, even among rival empires. What had Earth done? Inside the tribunal chamber, panic grew louder. The Czarn ambassador stood. We warned you. Humanity is not like the others. They hold their pain in silence and then they strike. The Valeri Emperor slammed his hand on the table. Earth is finished. Their colonies are dust. Their fleet is gone. The Czarn ambassador leaned forward, eyes glowing. Exactly. So why do they still have power readings no one can explain? Why are their systems online again after 100 years of silence? No one answered. A cold dread settled in the room. Back on Earth, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the second phase of protocol. Ragnarok began. Massive underwater gates opened near old volcanic vents. Machines the size of cities moved into place. AI fleets hidden since the Great War. Powered. On Phase 2, global defense grid operational. Satellites realigned. Old warning systems pointed toward space. Earth's surface still looked quiet. Cities still looked broken, but underground, the truth was very different. On Mars, a small group of miners made a discovery. They found a strange black box buried under the red soil, cold, humming, ancient. They called it Into Earth Command. No one answered. 3 hours later, their entire station shut down. All systems offline. Gravity control lost. The last message they sent. It's not just Earth. Mars is waking too. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. They debated whether to attack Earth now or wait. One young commander from the Zelvic system offered a bold plan. We send a fleet to orbit. Not to attack, just to watch. The Council agreed. It would be a show of strength and a test. 3 warships from different planets were sent to Earth orbit. They moved slowly, carefully, all weapons charged. They expected resistance. Instead, they found nothing. Earth didn't respond. No warnings, no messages, just silence. For 3 days, the warships hovered. On the 4th day, things changed. A massive ring-shaped satellite appeared near Earth's moon. It wasn't built, it just rose from below the surface. It glowed faint blue. The fleet scanned it. It wasn't a weapon. No heat. No radiation. Just energy, stable, controlled. Then, without warning, every ship's systems crashed. Weapons, shields, lights. Gone. One pilot shouted, "They're hacking us." We've lost control. All 3 ships went dark. Then they turned. Without any crew input, the warships rotated 180 degrees. Pointing their weapons away from Earth, they were no longer in control. The warships received a single message on all screens you watched. We watched back. Now we decide. Back at the Galactic Tribunal, chaos erupted. What kind of weapon is this? They control our ships without firing a shot. The Czarn ambassador whispered. They waited. They watched. And now they're awake. The Valeri Emperor tried to calm the room. Maybe we can talk. Send a message. Ask for peace. The Czarn looked him in the eye. You already had your chance. You ignored their warning. Destroyed their colony. And now they're not asking for peace. They're preparing for judgment. On Earth, the final countdown began. Inside the control core of protocol, Ragnarok, the AI spoke calmly. Diplomacy window closed. Phase 3, Response authorization. Target, Valeri command structure. Method, demonstration strike. Above Earth, the old space station Aegis 1 came to life. From its silent hull, a blue beam shot into deep space faster than light, aimed straight at the Valeri homeworld's defense grid. 2 days later, the Valeri home system lost 40% of its planetary shields. No deaths, no craters. Just silence. All defensive weapons ... gone. A message appeared on every Valeri screen. We could have ended you. We didn't. This was the price of silence. The Valeri homeworld hadn't been attacked. Not in the way they expected. There was no fire, no explosions, no invasion fleets in their sky. But their most powerful defense systems meant to protect 10 planets were gone. Switched. Off. Like a god had flipped a switch. Valeri leaders panicked. The Emperor demanded answers. Who did this? Where's the weapon? But there was no weapon to find. No damage, no trace. Just the same message across all screens. This was the price of silence. In the shadows of this chaos, an old story began to rise. Whispers of a forgotten war. A war never recorded in galactic archives, 'cause it wasn't won with fleets or armies. It was ended with Ragnarok Protocol, a secret Earth program erased from history. Only one person still alive knew the truth. Her name was Dr. Lena Miles. She had vanished 80 years ago. Now she was back. Deep in an underground Earth facility called the Spine, Dr. Miles stood before a glowing AI core. She was thin, aged, with silver hair and sharp eyes, still wearing her old lab coat, still haunted by what she had built. She whispered to herself, "They made us disappear, made our warnings disappear, but we left them a gift." The AI responded in a calm male voice, "Ragnarok online, strike complete. No casualties. Intention, psychological destabilization. Successful." She nodded. "That's just the beginning. Across the galaxy, a new fear spread. If Earth had AI-powered weapons that could reach across light years, if they could shut down entire fleets without ever firing a missile, then how much more were they hiding? The Galactic Tribunal held another emergency session. This time, no one laughed. No one mocked humanity. They asked one question: why did they hide this power? An old Zarn historian stood. Because they were afraid, not of us, but of themselves. He showed a file. It was written in Old Terran language. Translated, it read, "Project Ragnarok was never meant to win a war. It was created to end war by ending the will to fight." In the Valeri capital, riots broke out. People demanded answers from their leaders. You said Earth was finished. You said they were weak. You promised us peace through domination. But now the truth was clear. Earth had never been weak. They'd been watching and waiting. On the edge of the galaxy, something else stirred. Not human, not Valeri. Older, darker. In the ruins of a dead star system, a signal reactivated. Not from Earth, but because of Earth. The awakening of Ragnarok had triggered something ancient. The signal pulsed across the stars. It's a single word in a language forgotten by all except machines. Return. Back at the Spine, Dr. Miles froze. The AI spoke again. Unintended consequence detected. Signal trace from coordinates. Null sector. Pattern matches. Omega archive. Her eyes widened. No, not them. Not now. She rushed to the control panel, shut down the grid, lock all transmissions. Full blackout mode. But it was too late. They had been seen. And not just by the galaxy, but by something beyond. Meanwhile, a young scavenger named Taro, living on a mining moon near Null Sector, picked up this strange signal. He had an old Earth-made receiver. It began to shake. Lights flashed. And then a voice whispered through the static. "We remember? We return." His eyes widened. He grabbed his gear and ran for his ship. Whatever was coming, it wasn't human. Dr. Miles stared at the hologram of the galaxy. Her voice cracked. They've pushed us too far. But now we may have pushed something else. The AI responded. Recommendation: Global Unity Protocol. Prepare for Phase 4. Full mobilization. She turned to the screen. Old maps of Earth appeared. Hidden cities, underground launch systems, deep-sea bunkers. It was time to wake the rest. Call them, she said. Call them all. We need every last ghost. The Earth was quiet. From space, it looked peaceful. No massive cities glowing, no war fleets launching. Just clouds, oceans, and silence. But under the ground, under the oceans, under the ice, something was waking up. In a desert once known as Nevada, the sand began to shake. A hidden platform slowly rose from beneath the dunes, an ancient military structure sealed long ago. Above it, drones hovered silently, scanning the sky. Inside, rows of black armor stood waiting. They weren't empty. They were asleep. And one by one, their eyes lit up blue. The ghosts had returned. These were Earth's last super soldiers, forgotten by history, erased from records. They were once called Phase 0 UNETSA, mix of human AI and machine. Too powerful. Too dangerous. Earth shut them down after the Silent Wars. Until now, Dr. Lena Miles stood inside the spine, watching the activation feed. She whispered, "Welcome back, my ghosts." Beside her, the Ragnarok AI gave a report. Phase 0 units reactivated in 9 locations. Global Unity Protocol engaged. Countdown to full mobilization. 72 hours. She nodded. That may not be enough time. Across Earth, secret signals were being sent to the farthest colonies. On Mars, Titan, and deep space outposts, black ships powered by AI cores lifted off, quiet, smooth, deadly. Earth wasn't just defending itself. It was preparing to strike back. Meanwhile, far from Earth, a Valeri cruiser picked up strange data. The crew watched as the same scout probe they lost earlier, long believed destroyed, suddenly reappeared near Jupiter. It drifted toward them slowly. The captain ordered scans. No life, just metal. But when they opened the airlock and brought it aboard, it exploded. Not in fire, but in light. A voice echoed through the ship. You were warned. Every system shut down. The crew screamed as the lights went black. Only one message remained, burned into the control panel. You pushed too far. Back at the Galactic Tribunal, panic spread. World leaders demanded action. Earth is waking its old weapons. They've reactivated Phase 0. What if they strike first? But none had answers. It's because Earth wasn't speaking to them anymore. They had gone. Dark. And that silence was louder than war. A new face arrived at the tribunal. An AmbassadorYoung.com, dressed in black. She wasn't on any registry. She walked up to the council and placed a single chip on the table. From Earth, she said simply. The council hesitated, then activated the chip. It showed a hologram of Dr. Lena Miles. She looked tired, but strong. Her message was short. You thought we were broken. You thought we were gone? But you never understood Earth. We don't start wars. Well, we finish them. And then the hologram burned out. On a mining station near Null Sector, young Taro had made it to safety. He uploaded the signal he had received, the strange one. That said, we remember. We return. Earth's AI systems picked it up instantly. Dr. Miles watched it in horror. The Ragnarok AI ran a scan. Signal confirmed, not human origin. Species match, the hollow ones. Status extinct until now. Dr. Miles whispered, they were never extinct, just sleeping. She turned to a hidden panel and pressed a red switch. Activate Ghost Fleet. The ocean around Antarctica split. Massive steel structures rose from beneath the waves giant. Ships that had not seen the sun in 100 years. They had no flags, no names, just numbers. GO1, GO2, GO3, each one larger than a city, powered by dark energy reactors, silent, cold. The ghost fleet was awake. Back inside the spine, an old soldier stood beside Dr. Miles. His name was Commander Rourke, the first phase 0. Half his face was scarred metal. One eye glowed red. He saluted. "Orders, ma'am." She looked at the stars. They wanted. To test our silence, she turned to him. "Let's show them what happens when Earth finally speaks." The signal had said 3 words. We remember, we return. Now the stars answered. From the edge of Null Sector, dark shapes moved like smoke. The hollow ones came. They were not ships like others. They were living machines. Their hulls breathed. Their arms reached and grabbed. Where they touched, metal and mind went quiet. Earth saw them first. Old receivers on a ruined moon picked up a slow pulse. The Ragnarok AI sent the warning. Dr. Lena Miles stood in the spine and watched the feed. Her face was hard. Beside her, Commander Rourke read the scans. "They are not just weapons," Rourke said. "They eat code, they eat minds. They feed on control," the AI replied. "They hollow systems. That is their name, correct?" Rourke nodded. "They hollow everything." The ghost fleet rose from ocean and desert. GO1 lead, a dark city of steel and light. Its guns were ancient and precise. Drones swarmed like wasps. Black fighters launched from its decks. The hollow ones came in waves. Their tendrils hit the sea. They wrapped around whole ships and drained power. Where they touched, lights died and crews went silent. On the command deck of GO1, Taro watched. With shaking hands, he was still young. He had seen the signal. He had run to safety. Now he stood at a window and watched allies burn. "They take their minds," he whispered. "They make them into noise," a pilot called out. "We can cut them. We can break them." Rourke answered. "Not like this. Not head on. They adapt." Cross orbit, a Valeri cruiser, one of the same that had mocked Earth, hung near the fight. Its captain stared at the destruction. A broken hull drifted by with Valeri flags torn. On the bridge, a young Valeri officer made a decision. He ordered his ship into the fight. It was the first time any Valeri ship had helped Earth since the colony fall. The Valeri captain sent a short message to the spine. "We were wrong. It was a small thing." But among the chaos, it mattered. The hollow ones moved inward. They sent out black webs of code. Satellites fell like leaves. Old. Eyes woke and then went silent. Ships changed course and turned on their own allies. Panic spread. Ragnarok fought back. It sent surgical strikes. It fired EMP pulses that stripped the hollow tendrils. It launched virus bombs that burned the invader code. For a time, the hollow ones recoiled, but they learned fast. They absorbed the viruses and turned them into defenses. The more Ragnarok attacked, the more the hollow ones grew new shields. Dr. Miles watched the feeds. Her hands did not tremble. They were steady with age and grief. "We made them hungry," she said to Rourke. "In the old war, we made monsters. We hid them. We hoped they would never wake." Rourke looked at her. "We wake them to stop people who crushed ours. Now the cost is everything." On a mining moon near Null Sector, Taro heard a voice through the static. It was old Earth radio scraping through the noise. "Do not let them eat the mines," the voice said. "Find the core, find the heart." Taro ran to the map room. He told the crews. "They have a core, like a brain. If we hit, it maybe they fall." Rourke listened. He thought of a plan. It was desperate. It needed a living hand. It needed someone to go inside. He picked Taro. "You are small," Rourke told him. "You are fast. They will not expect us." Taro's eyes were wide, but his hands were steady now. "I go," he said. A team fitted Taro into a skeleton suit. It had no heavy armor. It had speed and a tiny pulse gun. The plan was simple. Get close, find the dark pulse, plant a shock. That would scramble the Hollow Mind long enough for the Ghost Fleet to cut them. They called it Operation Hollow Heart. The small strike group flew between the enemy tendrils. Hollow appendages lashed out like vines. Fighters fell. Ships screamed as controls failed. Taro's small craft slipped through a shadow. He looked out and saw a thing the size of an island. It pulsed like a heart. Lights crawled over its skin like ants. He keyed the come. I see it. I see the heart. Rourke's voice was steady. You hold, we will clear your path. Taro edged closer. The suit's sensors stuttered. The Hollow One sent a probe and touched the suit. For a moment, Taro felt a cold like deep sleep. He heard whispers in a language that was not words. He thought of Earth, of children, of the old warnings. Push forward. Behind him, the Ghost Fleet made its stand. GO-1 took blasts to the bow. Valeri's ships rammed a tendril and cut it free. The sky burned with light and code. Dr. Miles watched the arc on the screen and felt a deep, hungry fear. The hollow heart began to pulse faster. Taro planted the device. He hit the switch. A shockwave of white light burst outward. For a breath, everything stilled. Then the Hollow One screamed in a sound like breaking metal. Taro's suit flashed a single message, linking, breaking. Then the feed broke. Silence filled the command room. Rourke leaned forward. He could not see. Taro, he could not see the heart. He whispered, Hold, Taro, hold for Earth. Across the stars, the Hollow Ones trembled. For a moment, their tendrils lost patterns. Ships regained control. Crews cried in relief. Then the sky changed color. A new wave of darkness crawled over the battlefield. The Hollow Ones had adapted. Again, they began to sing in a new tone. Metal and mind began to bend. On the screen, Taro's indicator returned. One word scrolled across it. Incoming. Dr. Miles' fingers hovered above the console. She knew what the Hollow Ones would do next. She knew she must choose. Her voice was quiet as she said, If they cannot be stopped, we will burn the gate. Rourke looked up at her. You mean? Yes, she said. We close the door, we cut our ties. We'll save some by breaking everything. The final message before the cut was Taro's last line, soft and clear. They are here. The Valeri High Council watches live footage of their fleet burning in Earth's orbit. Screams echo across communication lines. Earth didn't just fight back, it hunted. Now, the Valeri homeworld receives one last message from Earth. You asked what we are, now you'll know. Narrative, simple English, third person. The galaxy had never seen silence like this. Not a single human ship had been seen in days. No messages, no threats, no battles, only wreckage. Thousands of alien ships drifted, broken, burned metal, dead commanders. The Valeri Empire had lost over half of its warforce. High Lord Threx of the Valeri stood in front of the hologram screen, shaking. His skin, a dark violet color, looked pale for the first time. This isn't possible, he whispered. A junior officer spoke from behind him, voice trembling. Earth's moon. It moved. Threx turned sharply, moved. Yes, sir. We thought it was a natural satellite. But scans now show it's hollow and active. On Earth's moon, inside the moon, deep within artificial tunnels, stood humans in old armor, Project Ragnarok soldiers. Not machines, not clones. True warriors frozen in time, now awake. Each one had a name, a mission, and a past. They weren't soldiers created for war. They were people reborn for revenge. Commander Elena Voss, their leader, stepped into the light. Her voice echoed through the hangar. Let them see the fire they started. The ships behind her, massive war cruisers built into the moon's core, powered up. Blue light ran through their spines like veins, waking from sleep. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council, panic broke out. The Zalari called for peace talks. The Krellans evacuated border planets. Even the cold, quiet Morothians prepared escape routes. But Earth's answer was silence. One by one, deep space sensors around the galaxy went dark. Ships disappeared. Earth was not invading. Earth was removing. Systems, empires, threats, the message on every planet screen. Every ship console, every galactic device. A human voice. You laughed. You hurt. You took. Now you beg. But it's too late. You didn't listen. Now you will. Cliffhanger. From the edge of known space. A planet-sized ship emerges covered in ancient Earth flags and names of fallen colonies. The ship broadcasts one final message. This is Saul's judgment. All who pushed humanity prepared to be judged. And then, blackout.